All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. Planning to do an EV sector here, looking at Polestar. We'll look at NIO, and I think I'm going to look at Tesla for my third one. All right, and man, all three of these are actually looking very good. So Polestar. Oh, excuse me, you can see it right here. If you saw the last video, it was all about the 200, all about the 200. Basically, never been over it, and we are doing a pretty nice job right now, to say the least, all right? Neo has been on a tear, all right? This was the earnings moment. Again, it was another 200 moving average moment. It's interesting, and I just said it in the Discord. I'm surprised Neo is doing well because there was some sort of EV ban that I saw on some sort of headlines. Nothing has happened yet, but I know I saw that headline, and it was a little surprising, to say the least. And again, Neo is obviously it would be part of that, right? And then the last one, I normally don't cover it, but I'll give a little love to Tesla. So Tesla is doing very well. You can see this 249 was a very interesting resistance the end of yesterday and basically a doji today, right? So tomorrow should be very telling, but overall the moving averages, nice MACD, still healthy RSI. I'm telling you, all three of these PSNY are looking very, very nice. All right, so excited to talk about all these and more. But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our five moving averages. There's at least one here, and I think there might be some above. Oh, there aren't. I will draw some horizontal support and resistance lines. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with the YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, super appreciated. All right, so let's get into it. And look, the last time I made the video on Polestar, it was actually not that long ago, if I'm not mistaken, but it was all about the 200 moving average. And I started the video with it. I'm going to say it again. Look, Polestar actually hasn't been around for a very long time. You can see there are no reverse splits. Like, this is the true day one till today view right here, all right? And it is pretty much fair to say we've never very well broken the 200 moving average. On the last video, I basically said we've never broken it, right? There was pretty much nothing there. And even if you look right here, those are the only maybe good one, too. I wouldn't even say it. I would say that's not a good enough. That's a good one, and that's not confirmation. You know what I mean? So maybe here is our first one too, but I'm going to get to that shortly, right? But look, we're still talking about the 200 moving average. The one thing that's making me a little happy specifically on this 200 is, at first the conversation was, look, we've never been over it, we've never been over it, we've never been over it. All of a sudden, we were kind of over it, kind of over it, kind of over it, kind of over it, using it as a support and maybe taking off, right? When a line goes from this, we've never been under it, scary line, to all of a sudden, hey, did we just kind of use it here as support to bounce up and confirm that today? That's where things start to get interesting, all right? Now, look, arguably you can say it was the 20 moving average that did it. Believe me, if the 200 was angry enough and we felt like it wasn't supposed to be over here, we would have had a really hard rejection. All right. So this is a very interesting answer to yesterday. But now, again, I need to confirm. All right. And what do I need to confirm? I'm trying to confirm that we're over the 8. I'm trying to confirm that we've broken that 164. I'm trying to confirm that we're over all 5 moving averages, right? So this is nice. This is really nice, right? So I am seeing red over green on top of the MACD, but hey, we at least held the positive, right? We were very much in the negative, very much in the negative, doing this like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Maybe there's no up and down. Maybe we're just going to continue on up, right? So I like that little shift there, even though the green's over the red, right? I mean, sorry, the red's over the green. Clearly, I see a nice green over red right here. 70 is still a decent number. Look, I normally say break all 5 and fly. I think I'm just looking for Give me confirmation, give me reason to believe, and maybe it'll be the next week that does it. And I think we might see it on the weekly chart, all right? But let me just draw some lines here real quick. I think that's a good one. I think that was actually a really good one. Yeah, basically the bottom of that, the top of that, and it looks like it's the half of that. I think 230 is the next place because look, I mean, just basically nothing, 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 red, 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 green, 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 nothing, 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 green, green, red, right? Like I think there's some good fast up and downs right there, and then oh man, my goodness, basically right here, yeah, I would put the next one. I think 325 is a little bit of an aggressive target. I think maybe 230 is a little bit realistic. All right. Now, when we go into the weekly, this is where things are a maybe here. All right. And 76 is still pretty high on the weekly. Don't get me wrong, but this is a real interesting channel. And again, weekly's going to take longer, right? Maybe this is going to take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know, right? But I feel like this is setting up as a confirmation of breaking the 50, or at least, excuse me, an attempt at breaking the 50. And next week could be that interesting confirmation. You know what I mean? So I think this is a very interesting weekly setup. I'm so far liking the daily. I think the biggest thing that I'm liking is this 200 moving average becoming a support instead of a scary, scary resistance. And hey, look, I mean, the 20 did just golden cross the 200. The 50 hopefully is going to just keep on coming up, coming up. And hey, if those two keep on going up, you know, that's a good thing, right? Lastly, just kind of taking the 200 outside, bouncing on the 8 like a champion. Oh no, we've lost it. The 20 is right there to get us right back over, right? So that's textbook 820. That's a real nice support of the 200. We've got some golden crosses and some interesting lower indicators. The only thing I didn't talk about is volume, all right? Still not quite there. We need just a little bit more volume. Obviously, we got more than yesterday, and that's always a good start, right? But we got to break at least that 50-day line, right? Like we need at least what? 11 million. We basically need a little less than double of today, and that's the bare minimum, right? Again, the average kid in the class is just getting a C. I'm not asking you to be an A student or a B student. Just be a C student at least. Maybe squeeze in a B plus every now and then, right? So Polestar, I like this hold. I like this setup. I just think we need a little bit of volume, all right? But let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's take a look at Neo really quickly, all right? Neo is looking pretty interesting right here, actually, all right? And I think the biggest difference between Neo and Polestar is volume. I ended the last one with volume. I'm almost starting it right here, right? Like that's been nice volume at the bare minimum. It's hitting the line, right? On those lull days, it's basically right there. Otherwise, they're nice days over it, right? So Neo has some nice volume. Neo's doing well with the moving averages. Neo is trying to gap up and break all five right now, all right? Real quick, hey, if you can subscribe, if you can share this video, it does wonders with the algorithms, all right? So I talked about Neo, I think the last time was around the earnings, which was probably around here. I'm not sure if I made a video on Neo over the last couple weeks, but look, I don't know what the earnings were. I didn't listen to anything. I don't know what the guidance was. But when I see a nice candle, a doji, and then a real good answer after the doji, those three tell me the earnings was all right. All right. And at the minimum, it tells me the market thought it was all right. And I always say our simple human opinions don't matter. It's what the market thinks. All right. Just like Polestar, I'm going to zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. I'll keep on zooming out even. All right. Basically, since the let's call it middle to late 2021, we've pretty much been under that purple line, right? So to have a nice little gap up is interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm kind of just ignoring this. I guess I kind of am, right? But again, that's just a small little window in a 3-year thing, right? So this is an interesting reset, reattempt right here. That's a good gap up. I don't think I saw much news to justify the gap up, but again, that's good earnings. That's a scary, scary line. That's basically it holding and going, right? Again, looks like it's gonna go, looks like it's not. Right? It's been this up and down. Those two weren't the prettiest. You can even argue those four weren't the prettiest. But as much as I need confirmation up, it never confirmed down. right? We were basically holding the 200. We were basically holding the 8. We never lost the 20. It's the 8 and the 20 that work together. And then, yeah, there it is right there. That was an interesting answer today on some nice volume as well, right? The one thing, I'm going to say it again. Again, I might be wrong. Believe me, I don't follow news that much. Um, I wonder which one that one was for. Regardless, I'll figure that out later. One thing I saw was an EV ban that are outside of the US. I saw something about national security concerns and EVs are collecting a lot of data and this and that. Look, obviously nothing's happened yet, but it's interesting to see an 11% gap up candle with a real big, almost 2x the average volume when there's a little bit of a rumbling to that. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. I love good earnings reactions, and maybe the good earnings reaction supersedes this EV ban fear because I'm sure there's a lot of things that are going to need to happen before that ever comes to play. Right. So, um, interesting setup on Neo for sure on the daily. Look at that weekly setup as well, right? That 200 moving average, same story, same August 2021. Basically, a week and a couple red candles after and over it. So basically, 3 years under it, right? It kind of looks like we're breaking the 50 and wanting to head on up to the 100, right? I think it's a little aggressive to think $8. I think 660 ish for now. But hey, going from this five something, basically 6 to 660 is a real nice 10% right there, right? So I'm liking this. I am liking the daily. I am liking the weekly. As long as no silly band stuff happens, coming off earnings, coming off breaking all the moving averages, coming off a nice channel on the weekly, ooh, that's a lot of good things to like. And again, the volume's already there. That's a lovely thing, right? 72 is a little high on the RSI, but I'll take it, especially with that MACD kind of resetting and looking like it wants to go nicer, right? So Neo, I like it. Polestar, I like it. I'm about to get to Tesla. I still like it despite the doji. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into Tesla, all right? So I kind of regret not doing it earlier, but the one thing I want to do that I didn't do on the other ones, let's take a look at the market, right? Like at the indices, excuse me, at the index, just one of them. We're gonna look at Nasdaq. Maybe we'll look at the S&P 500 as well. But hey, this ain't a bad index right here. Okay, now clearly four dojis right there. All right, the four dojis are coming off of a gap up, but the one interesting thing is the 8 moving average is now kind of catching up. So what could have been a scarier fall, I don't think is going to go any lower than the 8 moving average. Hopefully the 8 goes up one more, and that's actually what catches us and carries us over. That 71 RSI, there's still room for it to go up, and I love the complementing MACD that has the green over red and is also in the positive, right? So look, I know four dojis aren't ideal, but to me, it's holding the gap up. Give me the moving averages and let's go, right? The 20s also still coming up. It actually looks like it's weird to see the 50 staying flat, but the 100 coming up. That's a little bit of an interesting one. It's technically a death cross if the 50 goes under the 100. That's actually not a good thing. I don't know if that, again, I'm not here to pretend to know the math, right? But the 8's starting to go up. The 20 is 3x slower than the 8. You can see that's starting to go up. Obviously, the 50 is about 2x slower than that, right? So there's a little bit of an interesting flatness on the 50 moving average. Nonetheless, I'm actually still liking this, all right? I actually really am. When I look at the S&P 500, SPX, same story, right? Gap up, four dojis. You can say that they're going up, but to me, four dojis is basically flat. I'm cool with the 8 still going up though, and hopefully carrying these things. And actually, the same basic setup here. I think that 50 100 looks a little less scary and ugly right here though, right? So when the indices look good, when this is starting to become the setup, there's some interesting thoughts in my head. All right, so Tesla specifically. Look, two things come to mind actually. All right, so I'm kind of coming back to, I guess, rough. No, like, yeah, look, rough. Basically, all of September. All of September, we've had all five lines completely next to each other, right? Basically, a 10% move between all five of them from 200 to 220, right? Trying to get away, 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 starting to get away. And as nice as that's starting to get away is, there's never really a good confirmation. Good candle, not good enough. Good candle, not good enough. And it's a gap up for sure, right? But dojis never count. Tomorrow should give us the truth. I'm hoping tomorrow closes a little bit higher or around our wick today. I'm clicking on the half of this July 9th candle. Yeah, that's our candle. I basically want to get to right here. If we can get to about, yeah, it's basically where we wick today. If we can get to 257, I'll call that confirmation, and I will say that that's a decent candle. Truth be told, if we can get a little higher, if we can get a little closer to like 260, that'd probably be better. But I think that's all this thing needs. At the minimum, Tesla looking good is nice for the ones that I just covered, right? For the Polestars and the Neo that are gonna follow in the footsteps of the leader, right? So Tesla's looking strong. I didn't see this. It's obviously SpaceX related. There was some SpaceX suit walk. That's pretty cool. I'll be honest with you. I had no idea. And it was a clean, I try not to curse on these videos, but it was a clean suit. It was not that bulky. It did not look like that NASA suit. And I don't know if that SpaceX spacewalk is going to do much for Tesla, but hey, obviously it's Elon connected and maybe it'll kind of carry both, right? But even without that silly little maybe right there, I think Tesla looks good. I think the indices are holding very well. I'm seeing some people talk about like gloom and doom, man. No, that's not what I'm not till we lose more lines, and I don't think we're losing lines, you know what I mean? So I'm liking the setup on all three of these. Please let me know if you disagree. Let me know if you agree. Let me know whatever is on your mind. Oh, I appreciate you so much.